This morning I'm rolling back the plastic covers that have been over this area all winter with the intention of rotary hoeing this section right up and then planting some chickpeas again. It's the second time that I will have planted chickpeas. I'm only going to grow them in a small portion of this. I'll talk about the chickpeas more later. First up, I wanted you to have a look at what the actual remnant here after a winter under the plastic, what it looks like. So I'll bring you in close and let you have a look. These particular beds grew tomatoes last year, and you can see some remnant of the actual stalk still here. I had put down compost, and you can see just small amounts of compost here remaining on the surface. I also then put newspaper down, and yes, there's still little bits of newspaper in places, but there's other places where there's no newspaper to be seen at all. And then I put straw over the top, and again there's some of the straw here but not all of it. Over winter the worms have been pretty busy and consumed most of this organic matter that was sitting on top of the soil. So what I'm going to do now is remove the excess, particularly this type of thing like these stalks and also the corn stalks. I'll remove those, clear the ground a little bit before I come in with the rotary hoe. All that organic matter was a welcome addition to the compost heap, and we'll go back onto the garden in another place at another time. So now that I've cleaned it up, I'm ready to get to and do some rotary hoeing. Now, a question that I have been asked a few times on the channel is, where did I get my rotary hoe? The answer, of course, that I have isn't very useful to anyone, because I bought this rotary hoe about 30 years ago. I bought it second hand, very cheap. Of course, it's not so easy to repeat that. Yes, go and look online, second hand, and see what you can find, and maybe you'll actually get something good and cheap like I bought this. Look, my advice if buying a tiller or a rotary hoe is that you buy something that is fairly sturdy. This was built, I don't know how long ago, maybe 50 years ago, because it was already fairly old when I bought it, and it's of good sturdy construction. I have replaced the motor on it in the time that I have had it, but I really haven't done much else, maybe replaced a belt or two over the years, and it's been a good machine. It allows me to do what I do in terms of the size garden that I grow. Now, a question that you may want to ask yourself is, do you need or want to use a rotary hoe or tiller? I have around about 200 square meters of larger veggie garden that I work with this. I have the raised beds and the greenhouse, which of course are basically run on a no-dig system, just bringing in compost. But where I grow things like potatoes, pumpkins, corn, tomatoes, these larger crops is the area that I actually work with this machine. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that are dedicated to no-dig gardening, and I'm philosophically inclined towards that concept myself. But practically speaking and economically speaking, this is a better option for me at this point. Bringing in the compost material that I need, well, there's two options. One is to buy it, which would cost me probably around about $500 a year. The other is to make it myself. I have the resource in the forest. I could wood chip a lot of that and make compost myself. Would again require investment in chippers and also investment in time and fuel. So realistically, I find growing the green manure, as you've seen me talk about in the previous video, and using this tiller is economically the most viable way. What are you going to pay for a unit like this? Well, new, probably $1,500 to $2,000 for a good one. You're going to be able to buy some a lot cheaper, of course, but personally, considering that you're going to be using it over a long period, you want to be able to get parts, I would be going for a better built, known brand myself. If you're projecting a lifespan of 20 or 30 years, the cost of a couple of $1,000s initially and your running cost over that time really isn't a great amount per year. It's going to be more than I have with this because this was bought secondhand and really cheap, but it's still at maybe $100 to $200 a year, going to be quite low compared to actually buying the compost that you would use in a no-dig system. I mean, I minimise the amount that I use this. I probably use it once to twice a year on any soil. I don't use it more often than that, and that means that the number of hours that I actually use this unit for over a year is probably maybe 6 to 10 hours total a year. So it's not very much, and I'm going to get a lot of life out of a motor with that amount of use. A lot of people are critical of a rotary hoe type system because they say that it creates pans in the soil or that it kills worms and things like that. Now, my experience is that while initially when I took this plastic off there were worms on the surface, after it's been about an hour now cleaning it up, walking around on it, there are no worms to be seen on the surface. They've gone down deeper, and so most of them are going to survive the actual cultivation. The other thing is these smaller units are very light. They bounce around. They're very unlikely to create a flat pan, and given that I'm only using it, as I said, maybe once or twice a year, there is a lot of opportunity for worms coming up, eating organic matter to break that pan and to maintain good drainage. I think those criticisms really apply to much bigger machines on bigger scale agriculture. So hopefully that's been of some use to you if you're interested in a tiller like this, but ultimately you've got to make your own choice as to how you're going to make your garden work and see what works for you. One thing that I should add is that a light tiller like this is really hard on your back. If you do have back problems, you may want to consider something a little bit heavier that actually has its own drive wheels. The ones that have drive wheels with the hoe behind mean that you're not doing battle with it constantly, and so it can be a little bit easier on your back. Now that it's all hoed up, I'm ready to move on to planting what I'm going to do, which is some chickpeas. But first I'm going to divide this because there's 3 areas that I'm going to be working with here. Down this end I'm going to plant the main summer crop of potatoes, and I'll plant the chickpeas at the back of this area, and in the front here I'll experiment with some other legumes for dried beans. I'm thinking to try some red kidney beans actually, because they're somewhat of a favourite in our family. So I'll have a go of those, continuing the whole theme of trying to produce our own legume crops for winter. So I divided the area using the shovel because that makes it just a little bit easier, with some paths to go around, and use the rake to level out the area that I want to plant in. And of course the wheel hoe, very quickly put some furrows in. Now I'm making the furrows a lot closer together this year than I did last year. Still have lots to learn about growing chickpeas, so I have to experiment in every way. Now I'm adding some blood and bone, as is my tradition in pretty much anything I plant in my soil. It always seems to benefit in some way. As seed, I'm using the leftover chickpeas from last year, and look, there's some of these that are broken and probably not viable, so I'm being fairly heavy-handed with them, but I think this will still be quite good, and it's going to be really interesting to see what type of crop I get off this area. There's only about 10 to 12 square meters here, but I'm planting more densely, and I'm planting in soil that is much better than what I grew previously. Where I grew them previously, it was the first time that I'd actually grown a crop in that soil. So being soil that was really undeveloped, I wasn't surprised that the crop was fairly poor. but here I would expect something better. Of course, it's a much smaller area, so it's really hard to relate, but I'm more likely to get good water onto this area when I need to. So having covered them back over with the wheel hoe again, I'm now going to cover the other areas with black plastic, because while I'd love to get in and plant those now, it's still a little bit early. Another couple of weeks and we can be pretty certain that it's going to move towards warmer weather. And the soil also is quite damp, which will make it cooler. So covering it with plastic, letting it dry out just a little bit more is a good idea. I'm really keen to plant the red kidney beans and just see how they go, but it's much better to wait that little bit extra. But anyway, we'll see how this all goes, and I'll bring you back and we'll see how it develops through the year.